Hello and welcome to another live session. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Hope you're doing well. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. And in this channel, we talk about dog training, how to train dogs without the use of treats, aversive tools, force, and all the bad stuff that it's out there. We're going to talk about a little bit more in details about those, and we're going to figure out which dog training actually is the ideal form of dog training for dog owners and also for dogs. So if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon as well, and uh, make sure to like this video if you like this video, and also share this video with other dog lovers as well. Uh, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions in the chat area. And if you're watching this on a replay, uh, make sure to ask your questions in the comments area. And Cynthia Ingram is here. Thank you for being here. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you for being here. So today I wanted to start the chat a little bit about dog training. um, I'm doing this live session in a different day, different time. So there are. I'm hoping that I'm gonna help all kinds of dog lovers all around the world in different time zone. So let's talk about what is dog training methods. These are dog training methods are the way that we train our dogs. We get the information to our dogs, or our dog gets trained. And what are those dog training methods? So there are many dog training methods out there, unfortunately. Uh, and I tried my best to get them all in the list. There might be others that is missing. Let me know in the chat area or in the comments area if you know any other methods that I've missed in this list. Unfortunately, or however you want to look at it, fortunately, there are many dog training methods. Uh, you know, these are the methods that people choose to train their dogs. Uh, there's a positive reinforcement training. Positive reinforcement training is very popular and is basically, you know, the dog trainer focuses on just reinforcing the dog with positive enforcement. You know what I mean? You're just providing positive feedback to the dog. If the dog does something that is negative or is not a good thing, you don't do anything. And as long as the dog does positive stuff, you reinforce it. So basically, that's what positive reinforcement is. Scientific training is basically, if you ask most dog trainers, I would say they will say, "Hey, we're using scientific method of dog training," including me. I would say that I'm using scientific method. Uh, what that means is you're following, as a dog trainer, you're following scientific studies that has been done about dogs and dog training, and you're implementing those information in your dog training. So basically, that's what dog training is. Uh, there's clicker training. Clicker training is basically using, the clicker and also positive reinforcement. So basically, you wait until the dog does the behavior that you want, and you click and you reward the dog at the same time with a treat. It's a positive reinforcement clicker training. I personally don't use it. I don't think it's necessary to use. Um, but it's something that you can use it on animals, with animals. Yeah, you can use it with animals. Now, do you need to use it with dogs? I know dogs are animals as well, but do you need to use it with dogs as well? That's the question that I am struggling to figure out myself. As a dog trainer myself, I don't think we need to use clicker training, because clicker training adds another additional step in your dog training, and causes more confusion, more in the dog owner rather than also the dog. But also, I think we don't need to use clicker training with animals, with dogs, because you know dogs are domesticated animals. They're kind of dogs, the kind of animals that they're different than wild animals. Wild animals, because we don't have that connection, that communication, I think it's a good idea to use clickers training. But when it comes to dogs, I think our relationship is different, and I don't think it's necessary to use clicker to train our dogs. Clicker training is kind of, as I said, puts another layer step into training. Training dogs should be simple, and when we add clicker, I think we're making it more uh, confusing for dog owners. What do you think? Have you used clicker training yourself so far? Have you used what kind of method of dog training so far have you used? So that's my opinion about clicker training. Uh, the next one is e-collar or shock collar training. Now, this is something that I would say it's kind of controversial. E-collar or shock collar. Most dog trainers who use shock collars to train dogs, they call themselves mm, they call themselves balanced dog trainers. Balanced dog trainers. That's the one here. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. Most dog trainers who use e-collar or shock collars, they call themselves balanced dog trainers. And e-collar or shock collar, in my opinion, is not necessary to use, just like clicker training. I don't think we need to use shock collars on dogs. Maybe on wild animals, because again, we don't have that communication system between us and the wild animal. Somehow we have to kind of, you know, kind of communicate to a wild animal who we have no connection at all. But I think shock collars for dogs, again, who are domesticated animals, who we have a different connection, who we have a different, way of relationship that we have. I don't think we need to use shock collars, no matter how effective it is, no matter how people swear by it. In my opinion, first of all, we don't need to use shock collars on dogs, especially on dogs. On animals, if you are desperate, go ahead and use it. It's your choice, it's your decision that you're making. But I don't think we need to use on dogs. I don't feel comfortable harming my dog. No matter what dog trainers they tell you that doesn't harm, they hardly sense anything, they hardly feel anything. First of all, if they didn't feel anything, then what's the point of using it? They must be feeling something in order for you to be using that tool. So it must be doing something to the dog. It must be causing some form of sensation. And let's just ignore the fact that it hurts or harms the dog. When we use electric collar or shock collar, we're actually transforming some form of electric uh, frequency to the body of the dog, right? And I think that electric frequency, it's not supposed to be there. It's an addition to the system, or the electric frequency that the dog already has in its system. And when we add additional frequencies, it does cause it should, or it may, or it would cause harm. Just look at it from that point of view. So I personally don't recommend using e-collars or shock collar training. So that's my point of view. Nancy Ridland says clicker training was a complete failure for me. My dogs had no interest. uh, I understand, Nancy. Yes, I know uh, your feeling. It's something that I would say it's not for everybody. It's not some clicker training is not something that you can master it quickly. It's something that can confuse dogs, and it can confuse dog owners, as I said. In most cases, I think it's not necessary to use clicker training itself. Let's go to the next one. It's model, rival, or mirror training. Have you heard of this? This is a very unique method of dog training. I don't see many dog trainers using this method at all. And I think because it's very time consuming when number five, the model or rival or mirror training is used. Basically, what it is, you wait until the dog mirrors you, or you start giving the behavior that you want the dog to do. You project it in a way. You show it to the dog, mirror it. You show it actually yourself, and you expect the dog to mirror or repeat, or you know do kind of mimic you and mimic your behavior. It's very time consuming. I think this model rival or mirror training has been used in the past. I would say in the 60s, 50s, 60s. They were doing certain studies about animals, including birds and monkeys and um, different animals. They were testing on them to see if that was going to kind of help to communicate to a dog or to an animal, and that's where it comes from. I don't really suggest it for people to use as a main source of dog training, but I would say it's something that it's there and you can expand on it. You can learn a little bit more about it and maybe include it in part of your dog training journey. So that's something that I would say you may want to look into it, but there is more than that I just explained, but you can do your own research and find out a little bit more. Number six is alpha dog or dominance training. This became very popular in 2006 or so. That was when Cesar Milan brought it to mainstream, right? Alpha dog or dominance training. He uh, he really used it in his shows. He would dominate the dog. He would use alpha. He would use the alpha dog training concept in dogs that he thought that they were kind of dominant dogs. They He would dominate them in order to get rid of that domination of the dog. And the story behind this method of dog training is kind of funny and stupid, and also I would say it's kind of ridiculous. Alpha dog training was developed in late 60s, early 70s, where bunch of people, they decided to get some wolves from other areas of this planet of Earth and gathered few of them from here and there and put them in same in area, location, and then study them. That was the plan, to study these wolves and learn about them, and maybe also figure out how dogs work, because dogs are wolves are the ancestors of dogs. So they brought all these various individuals from different wolves, individuals from different areas of the world, brought them, put them together, and they noticed that these wolves, they were dominating each other, and they were kind of harming each other, killing each other, being very alpha-ish to each other. So they assumed and finalized the study that that's it. Wolves are dominant animals, and they they dominate each other, and they use alpha system to each other, not realizing that these were because individuals from different areas, they were competing with each other, so they had to be physical dominance and very aggressive towards each other. Whereas wolves that actually live together and migrate together and stay together are very family oriented animals, just like humans. They have um, they have system of creating dens to raise their puppies. They have a system that they um, babysit each other's puppies. They grow together, they raise each other, they take care of each other. They're family oriented. They're like the sons and parents and uh, family members would live together. That's how wolves actually live together. And that's how, in reality, that's how wolves are. Basically, they are just like family oriented, like humans. But those people who were doing those research, they realized, okay, this is the study that we have figured out, and let's publish this study. Even though it's not solid, it's not good opportunity to write a book and study and make money. So they did that. And also, one of the authors of the book, a few years ago, he came out and uh, he what do you call uh, revealed and said honestly that was a scam. It wasn't true. We just did it because we wanted to have fun and make money. There's nothing wrong true about that study. So actually, yeah, it got debunked. The study got debunked. So I would say alpha dog training, now that you know the story behind it, and I'm not making this up. Actually, it's there, it's out there. You can figure it out. You can do your research and find out. It's funny, it's stupid, and it's flaw, right? So if you are a person who is using alpha dog or dominance training, please know that it's flawed, is not real, is not true, is there's no reality behind it. And unfortunately, as I said, Cesar Milan was using it. Cesar Milan is and was one of the most well-known dog trainers in the world. So he after a few years of him being in top of the podium as the best dog trainer in the world, many people didn't like his approach, and they created this even Facebook page that hate Cesar Milan. He's dominating and abusing animals and dogs. So he got really attacked by people who didn't like his system. And a few years ago, he changed his system. He started, believe it or not, using treats to train dogs. He started using treats to train dogs, and that change that he made, it was just to make sure that uh, his image was saved, right? So he's not now using treats to train dogs. Uh, that's a very good question, Cynthia. uh, how would you handle or train a dog that Caesar handles? Very good question. I'm going to answer that. I would love to talk about that. Lex M has a question as well. Hi, I got a new Pomeranian puppy. What are your tips to minimize barking and biting? Okay, very good questions. Cynthia, I'm definitely going to answer your question right after I talk about. I think uh, let's go through the list, and then I'm going to conclude my answer with at the end of this list. And then Lex M, I'm going to answer your question as well. So stay tuned. Okay, so we got lots to talk about. So the next method of dog training is balance training. Now, balance training is a follow up to alpha dog or dominance training. This is type of dog training that you will see a lot of these on YouTube. You will see aggressive dogs, big, massive, huge dogs, but like all the all the all the dramatic forms of dog trainings that you're going to see on YouTube. It's out there, and they are called dog trainers. I'm not going to name names just because I want to be on the safer side for my own sake. I want to keep myself clean. I don't want to bash anybody, but there are people and dog trainers who use balanced dog training, and they claim that it's the best form of dog training, especially when it comes to aggressive or type of dogs that Caesar handles. Oh, and I'll explain a little bit more. So, how do you how these people feel about training these dogs is very different than other dog trainers, and I have a opinion about it too as well. So I'll talk about it, and Cynthia, I'm going to answer your question regarding that. And next, we have relationship based training. Relationship based training is basically developing a relationship with the dog and reinforcing the dog to want to behave the way you want. This is one of the systems or methods that is very, I would say, more realistic way of approaching dog training, especially if you have a dog that is really close to you and you feel very close to your dog. When you have that connection that is really solid, it's a relationship based dog training that can be useful, can be help you, and can be effective. So I personally like relationship based dog training. And number 9 is play and praise as reward system dog training. That's the basically the method that I use to train my dogs and train dogs in general. And it's the I think I'm the only one who uses play and praise as reward system. I've done my research for many years. There aren't any other dog trainers who use this method. So I'm the only one who uses this method of dog training. Although I know when I went to become a certified dog trainer, I had co-students who were attending the same school where we were all being trained to train our dogs using play and praise reward system. I know there were students who, and they many before me, had used who had studied dog training using play and praise as reward system. But I think what happened is that their classmates, I had classmates who were studying the same method, right? But I noticed after they studied, they went back to other using other methods. They didn't follow through the system again, just because I'll tell you why many people don't want to use play and praise reward system, and you may be one of those who is kind of staying back and saying, it's not my cup of coffee. And the reason is, and now this maybe it won't apply just to play and praise reward system, but maybe most of them as well, is because most dog owners, they want to get results fast. They want to get results right away. And that's the problem with I would say, alpha dog training and balanced dog training. That's because you get results right away. So Cynthia, here it is. I'm going to be kind of expanding on that and answering your question as well. Most people, they want to see results right away, and that's the problem. I'm not against seeing results fast. I'm against seeing results done by force. When we are training a dog, we can't force the training, we can't force the learning to the dog. When you rush and force the dog to learn or for you to get results, yes, you get a band aid solution results, yes, but it doesn't last long and it doesn't give you a lasting effect. And also, it will cause in future for it to develop unpredictable or unwanted behaviors that you never ever expected it to develop. Now, most balanced dog trainers, they're going to say, well, we film it, we show it, alpha dog trainers, balanced dog trainers such as Cesar Milan. Now I'm naming Cesar Milan because he was and he is uh, a popular figure in dog training, and I'm not naming other dog trainers on YouTube because I want to keep my channel clean. I want to keep myself clean, right? But if you do research, you will find them. So balanced dog trainers and alpha dog trainers, they say, hey, we film the videos, including Caesar. He shows you, hey, look at this, the dog is crazy, and all of a sudden he's nice and well behaving and calm. The problem is that in those cases, we are forcing the training to the dog. The dog is not learning because it wants to learn. No matter what the problem is, let's say the dog is reactive to other dogs and wants to kill other dogs or humans, whatever it is, and we are forcing the dog to not to kill other dogs or other humans. And at the end of the video, we're saying, ta-da, you see, the dog is not killing other dogs or other people. In that moment, in that format, we are forcing the dog to learn not to kill other dogs. The dog is not learning on its own not to kill other dogs. Now you're saying what the hell are you saying here? What are you talking about, Saro? Well, if I want the dog to do certain things, I have to force the dog to do certain things. If I'm asking the dog to sit, if I'm forcing the dog to sit, the dog is not sitting, for example, because I told him so. It sits because it knows there is a repercussion, there is a after effect if I don't sit. If I don't sit, this human is going to either pull the leash to choke me, or is going to yank me around, or is going to harm me or hurt me somehow. And then I'm gonna have to cooperate with this human. Otherwise, this human is gone crazy. He's gonna just like me. I want to kill that dog, and this human has gone crazy just like me and wants to kill me now, right? That's what's happening, right? And these dog trainers, they say, look, at the end of the video, the dog is well behaved and is not killing other dogs. But from dog trainer perspective, when I'm looking at those dogs like Caesar Milan also, or all these balanced dog trainers who you will find on YouTube, if you watch the dog at the beginning, the dog is barking, wants to go and kill the other dog and all that. At the end of the video, the dog is like that. It's drained out. The energy has been drained out mentally, physically, emotionally. They drain out the dog, and they say the dog now has learned, not is a good dog now. Well, if you physically, emotionally, mentally drain out the dog, you're forcing the dog to learn. And that's the problem. Force training a dog is not healthy. It's not realistic, actually, to allow the dog to get to that point, first of all, that it wants to kill another dog or another human being, first of all. Second of all, as a humans who have kind of allowed that dog to get to that point. I'm not blaming you or anybody else that you have a dog who wants to go kill another dog. I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying that it's your fault, but in a way it's your fault because humans are the cause of the development of dogs' unwanted behaviors. That's because the humans unknowingly or knowingly are causing some form of uh, behavioral changes in a dog, right? So let's say if the dog is aggressive towards other dogs, it's not the dog is not doing that to ruin your life. It's not doing it to make your life miserable. It's not doing it to make your life horrible. It has issues, it has problems, it has anxiety, it has depression, it has a lot of internal issues happening inside of that dog that has got to that point that has to behave that way. That's its outlet. Just like humans who are not taken care of properly, physically, emotionally, mentally, what do? They they start doing crazy stuff, right? Do we kill them? Do we harm them? No, we help them. We try to help them. We say, you know what, buddy? Let's find you a place that you can relax. You're not exposed to oppor- uh, uh, situations that will cause you to get crazy and get overwhelmed. Let's help you with giving you an opportunity, an environment that you can relax, calm down, maybe eat healthy, maybe stop drinking, maybe eat drink healthy stuff, maybe listen to music, maybe do some yoga, maybe do this, maybe do that. Let's try this and that, and change your life, right? That's what we do with humans. I mean, the same thing we have to do with dogs. If a dog is got to that point that is slashing out and trying to harm another human being or another dog, it doesn't mean that that dog is gone and it's an end of it. And we have to use one of these methods to get rid of that behavior. It's not that. All it tells us that we have a dog who is reflection of our behavior, our doing. So let's say if a dog is aggressive to another dog, is reactive and is misbehaving, it's not doing that to have fun. It's not doing that to, it's not doing it because it's enjoying it. It's in a bad state of mind. It's a dark place, that dog, right? It's in a very narrow, dark place that that dog or that human is causing stress to me, and I've got to go and get rid of that problem, and I've got to go and kill it to get and stop that dog from hurting me, from harming me. That dog is saying that dog or that human that I'm seeing, it will cause harm to me, so I got to protect myself. So this dog is doing it because it's afraid that that object, human, dog, whatever it is going to harm it. Now, if you're using balanced dog training or alpha dog training, just like Cesar Millan used to do, and come and say, hey, stop doing that, and yank the leash and put him in that darker place, that dog is going to say, wow, I thought I was the crazy one. This human is the crazy one. He's trying to kill me. Now I got to obey this human. If I don't, this human is going to hurt me. Now I have double the problems. So that dog now obeys, so he won't get harmed by this crazy human, and then says, okay, I give up. But the problems are still inside. The problems are still in the body, soul of that dog. It hasn't gone through. Still feels that other dogs are danger to him or her. And then everything looks good for a moment. 2 days later, here we go again. The dog lashes out to another dog. Another opportunity to get rid of that darkness inside, right? So that's how, Cynthia, that's how Cesar Millan was handling bad behaviors. Now, how would I handle bad behaviors like dogs who Cesar Millan used to handle? I would treat it as we have a dog who has emotional, mental, behavioral problems. Let's take care of this dog in a way that it will gradually start fading out the behavior. We don't want to force the dog to all of a sudden go from this to that. You, I mean, think about it this way. Think about it this way, okay? Let's say you really love to drink wine or coffee. You as a human, yourself as a human. I'm going to put you in as I'm going to use you as an example. Just imagine whatever you really love to drink often and every day. What if I told you stop drinking that from now on? Stop drinking wine. Stop drinking your coffee. Stop drinking water every day. Would you say, sorry, you're crazy? I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep drinking. But what if I said to you that, hey, drinking wine is not healthy for you, it's not good. Drinking coffee is not good. You got to reduce it. At least drink less. Gonna say, you know what? It sounds crazy. I'm not gonna do it. As a human being, you're gonna have a hard time changing your behavior just to stop drinking whatever you're drinking. Now, if a doctor told you that, hey, your drinking is causing you to have health issues, you have to reduce it. Now, even reducing to 2, 3 drinks, 4 drinks a week is a problem for you. It's going to take months and months for you to go from drinking every day to drinking 1 or 2, 3 cups a week. It will take you few weeks, few months to make that change. So why am I using this example? To ask a dog to stop killing another dog, it will take weeks, months to change that behavior. It doesn't happen overnight. Right? You can't force a dog to change his behavior. You can't force a dog to learn a behavior. You have to use common sense. And if balanced dog trainers, they're saying, hey, other dog trainers, why don't you use a dog who's really aggressive and show it to us how you're going to deal with it? I say, we don't need to show you how it's done. We just take our time. And when we take our time to deal with that situation, we don't film it. We don't want to showcase it. We don't want to show it off that here's how you change a behavior from this to that, because it takes time. I'm not going to waste my time filming every day or every moment of this dog changing his behavior. Here's what some, I would say most dog trainers who are not balanced dog trainers or alpha dog trainers will tell you. And I do that too. I do this too. If I have a dog, for example, is reactive to certain things, is afraid of certain things. Let's say a dog is afraid of uh, the wind, the wind, right? In the beginning, the dog is afraid of the wind. Every time the wind comes, the dog panics. But next day, after 5 days, let's say, the wind comes and the dog panics. But after 10 seconds, it goes to relax mode. We celebrate that moment. That 10 second that the dog didn't react to the wind, we celebrate that. And that's not the time to grab the camera to film it and document it. Little opportunities, little changes that happens, and in that dog we celebrate. We open the champagne bottle because that dog made a choice to it made a choice to not to react. And that is a celebration. That is the biggest thing that you can ask a dog to do, to give you a behavior that you are hoping to get within. It gives you for 10 seconds. It gives you a taste of it, and you celebrate that. That's how you deal with reactive dogs. No matter how big that dog is, or no matter how small that dog is. Just like Lex M, Pomeranian puppy, it's a small dog, right? And we want to deal with minimize its barking and biting. How do we deal with this behavior? Do we force the dog to stop barking and biting? What do you think now? Think about it. I just gave you the the dog training 101 secret. I gave it away. Actually, I gave it away. Lex M, did you get it? Do you have, before I personally actually answer to your question, before I explain it in details, Lex M, do you have any ideas of how you're supposed to, now that you heard that, what I just said, do you have any ideas of how to minimize your Pomeranian's puppies barking and biting? Let me know in the chat area. Do you have some ideas? If not, I'll explain it. I'll go more in details. But that's how we actually need to change a behavior or help a dog. Now, the reason I brought up all these methods, I just want you to realize and know that how confusing and complicating dog training world is. Unfortunately and fortunately. Why? Unfortunately, because you have so many options to choose to train your dog. This is the way that you use to train your dog. And fortunately, I would say you have options now. You can you can choose any of these to train your dog. It's a There are pros and cons of having so many options. Is having so many options a good thing or a bad thing? Let me know in the chat area. Is having options a good idea or a bad idea? Let me know in the chat area. What do you think? The question at the moment is having so many options, especially to train our dogs, a good idea or a bad idea? What is your answer? What do you think? Let me know in the chat area. I'm going to wait a few seconds for you to answer this question. It's a simple question. Is having too many options a good idea or a bad idea? And then I'll share with you my opinion about having choices, whether it's a good idea or not. In my opinion, I would say when it comes to dog training, when it comes to dogs, after working with dogs for 25 years, I've realized that dogs themselves, they don't appreciate having too many choices. They like to have one or few choices. Now, humans, another side, other part, I think they like to having many choices because then they say, not all dogs learn the same way. So we need to have different options available for us to use different ways, whatever we want, because dogs don't learn are not the same, humans are not the same, so we can use different ways of training dogs. So Cynthia says, personally, I think it's not a good idea. Training should be universal. That's a very good point. Very good, a good opinion that you have. I highly agree with that, and I highly feel the same way too. Now, uh, I would say my take on this option is that I personally use a combination of these methods, right? I use positive reinforcement training, I use scientific training, I use model, rival, or mirror training, I use relationship based training, and basically, I use mainly play and praise reward system training. And the reason for that is because I find the the easiest way to train a dog is when the dog is, as I said, is not being forced to learn something, when the dog is willing to learn, when the dog is volunteers to learn a behavior. That's the method that I would use to train the dog. I find using play and praise as a reward system actually the best way to allow the dog to volunteer to learn and give the behavior that I want and give the behavior that the dog kind of um, wishes to repeat. Nancy has a feedback here. The best training is what works, and I have found that play and praise is the only type of training that works for me and my two dogs. By the way, Nancy is one of my students, so she is learning this process itself, learning the process of using play and praise as reward system. So thank you for the feedback, Nancy. So now, why do I mainly use play and praise as reward system? Let's dig in a little bit. Because first of all, we are using positive reinforcement training in there. When you're playing or praising your dog, it's all positive. It's all positive. The dog says, "Wow, I'm having fun. This is so good. Oh, my mom or dad is playing with me. I'm in positive state of mind." When you're praising a dog, have you ever noticed or paid attention to when you praise your dog, what happens to your dog? When you just simply say, "What a good girl, what a good boy," look at your dog and see how it feels inside. Just don't look only outside, just look inside, look into their eyes, look into their soul, see how they feel when you say, "What a good girl, yeah, yeah, what a good boy." When you do that, oh, magic happens. So many good things happens when you do that. So it keeps the dog in a positive state of mind. So when I use play and praise, keeps the dog in a positive state of mind. Number two, it uses scientific training. I have studied dog training for the past 25 years, and I'm still learning and studying. And there has been few scientific studies done about dog training. Scientific studies about dog training, that's different than scientific studies about dogs. Dog training, not many scientists study dog training. They're not dog trainers. They're studying dogs. There hasn't been scientific studies about dog training. I want to emphasize on that. There hasn't been scientific studies about dog training. Just remember that. There has been one or two, and maybe just a handful studies been done, but science of dog training. There has been scientific studies done about dogs which don't really give us clues and ideas about how dogs learn, but I'm using scientific dog training. One of the latest scientific studies about dog training has been done by Dr. Gregory Burns, who put placed the dogs inside a MRI machine and studied their reaction to praising the dog, saying, "Good boy, good girl." And the other one was giving hot dogs to the dog. And at the end, he concluded that the dogs who were responding to hot dogs, they were, yes, they were more than the dogs who were responding to "good boy, good girl." So, first of all, it shows us, teaches us that dogs actually do respond to verbal cues a lot. Good boy, good girl. But when also dogs are responding to the hot dog, it's not that they're responding to the hot dog. They're responding to the hand that is giving the hot dog. So your dog is more connected to you than you think so. And the hot dog is just a vessel that connects you to your dog. And me, I removed that vessel of hot dog away and I say use play and praise instead. It's much more healthier, it's much more effective, and it's much more enjoyable when you use play and praise. I also use model, rival, or mirror training in the play and praise because when my dog is mirroring my calmness or my excitement, my dog is in positive, good state of mind because I'm calm. So my dog gives me that calm energy and I reward it. When my dog is, when I excite my dog, hi, good girl, let's go do it. She gets excited. She's mirroring my image, my behavior, my energy. So I use that as well. I use relationship based training as well. So play and praise allows you to build a healthy relationship with your dog. So it gives you an opportunity to actually connect with your dog in deeper level. I call it connect with your dog in a cellular level. When you just remember when you tell your dog, what a good girl, what a good boy, in the cellular level, your dog is saying, whoa, so many good things happening. All these good things are happening internally, cellular level. And imagine if you build it from inside out. Imagine if you build a training, a dog training that works from inside out, from cellular level comes to the wagging tail part, from inside out. When you do that, magic happens. Cynthia Ingram says, play and praise works. My dog was trained on treats. Now saying good boy, it is magical. And he doesn't look for treats as much. The more I praise, the more he gets excited. Exactly. Now imagine transferring that energy to behaviors that you want. And that's how I would deal with any dog. I would deal with all the dogs that Cesar Millan was handling, all the dogs, right? So I would, I'm in my office and my Annie is outside of the door, and just because I'm saying, "What a good girl, what a good boy," I'm just saying this. I can hear her wagging and she's getting excited behind the door. She wants to come in and celebrate with me. That's the effect that you get when you use play and praise. So I, instead of using all these, I'm using play and praise reward system simply because it allows me to use all the goods of all this system or methods. So basically, I use one method, but you would say that it's a combination of all these highlighted methods. But that's why I only use one choice. I make one option available for me, play and praise. Therefore, I'm not confusing myself. I'm not confusing my dog either. I'm allowing my dog to focus on one. I'm using one method of dog training to train my dog, which which also doesn't allow it to get confused. Is this making sense? Is this allowing you to have those light bulb moments to go on? Gold miner James is in the house. Welcome. I'm. You missed some part of it. I don't know how when you got into the, but thank you for coming and smashing the like button. Thank you. Yes, everybody. If you're benefiting from this, if you're enjoying this training, dog owner training, smash the like button, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share this video with other dog owners as well, so they can benefit from this information. Gold Miners says, just got here. All right. You missed a great talk that I just had. You can always rewatch it anyways, but uh, thank you very much. That's great, Cynthia. Yes, make sure to hit the like button. Let me go back to Lex M. Um, where are you located? I wish you could be my. Okay, this wasn't the question that I wanted to answer, but I thought this was it. But no, um, I'm located on the web. I'm not doing any private or personal dog training, just because I feel it's not effective. I just did a podcast about this topic actually. It's in my channel if you want to hear why I don't do private dog training and personal dog training. I don't do it because it's not effective anymore. I don't believe that it does what it needs to do. It causes actually more problems to develop in dogs. Um, just look at all these dogs out there. 9 out of 10 have behavioral issues because we are still using old-fashioned method of dog training. Not only we're using some of these old-fashioned dog training methods, uh, the system also is wrong. Dog owners go to dog training classes, dog owners hire a dog trainer. These are all wrong. That's not the way that works anymore. We need to change the way we train and teach dog owners and dogs. And that's why I don't do personally private dog training or in person. I do online dog training. Speaking of online dog training, um, this program is brought to you by Saro Dog Training's Perfect Dog Plan. This is a dog training method that is very unique. As you can see, my dog training method is very unique. I use play and praise reward system to train dogs, right? So that itself is unique. The way I train dog owners also is very unique. I use online library of dog training lessons and also my personal coaching service. So I train your dog and I coach you. And if you want to join this program, what I have to do is I have to have a short video session with you to see if you qualify for the program, if this program is something that you can use and is ideal for you. And also, you learn if I'm the right person for you to hire as your lifetime dog trainer. That's the keyword again here, lifetime dog trainer. This program is full support, contains weekly coaching calls, which you every week you are kind of forced to have a coaching call with me. I want you to uh, be present and do your work. So you every week you are welcome to join my weekly coaching call and ask your questions. Ask your issues that you're having. Let me coach you and help you. There's a video library, a learning library that you can always refer to and go and learn on your own pace. And it's a lifetime access to the program. And of course, we use dog training without the use of treats. So if you want to join, all you have to do is go to my website, sarodogtraining.com, and book a free call with me. Therefore, we'll see if we are kind of ready to work together. So that's my answer to that question. Um, but I saw you had another question. Oh, this is the one. Yes. I got a new Pomeranian puppy. What are your tips to minimize barking and biting? So, as I explained earlier, we don't want to force the dog a behavior, right? When a dog is giving you a misbehavior, so called misbehavior, in this case, barking and biting, your dog is not doing that to piss you off. It's not enjoying doing that. It's not doing it to have fun. It's not barking or biting you to have fun. It's doing it because, first of all, you have to understand why it's doing it and then solve the problem. Why is it doing this behavior? Is feeling that is it's stress. It's um, not only it's stress, it's anxious, right? And therefore, it's feeling that it has to somehow communicate that to you. It has to tell you how it feels. Unfortunately, dogs they don't have a language just like we do. That your Pomeranian can come and tell you, you know what, Lex, this is what is bothering me because you did this and that. Because of this is happening, Lex. I'm stressed and confused. So therefore, that's why I'm going to do this and that. It's not. Unfortunately, they don't have that capacity, right? So when they are barking and biting, they're actually communicating to you. They're telling you how they're feeling, and they're basically expressing their feelings and emotions. So that's the part that I want you to really understand. That is very important, right? That your dog is doing that because it is simply telling you that there's something going on in this lifestyle that I have in this life, in this environment, in this house, that is causing me to get stressed and anxious. And since I can't literally say this to my human, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bark or bite. So hopefully they will get the clue, right? Now, why is it that you're saying could be that my dog is anxious and stressed? Well, this is why. I usually say because you're not providing your dog's daily five essential needs. You're not providing enough exercise. You're not providing daily training for your dog. You're not providing proper amount of socialization. Probably you're giving good care. Maybe you're sharing a lot of affection as well. But probably you're more focused on these two rather than all of these, and especially not providing your dog's daily five essential needs in this order, which is exercise, and then you do training, and then you do some socialization, and then you provide care, and then when you have provided all these, then you share affection. Is any light bulb going on? uh, so the day has to, for example, start with exercise. Has to continue with some training, and then you have to do some form of socialization for your dog, and then maybe breakfast and care for your dog. And when you have done all these, then you can share affection with your dog. If you So there are two ways of looking at this. One is from your dog's point of view, and the other one is from your point of view. So your dog is saying, hey, human, you haven't provided exercise for me. You didn't do any training, which exercise is physical stimulation. Training is mental stimulation. You didn't provide that. You didn't provide me any socialization, which is social stimulation. You provided a good care, which is physiological stimulation. And now you want to share affection with me. You didn't do your part, human, and you still share affection with me. When you do that, you get great negative effects from your dog. Now, from your point of view, if you haven't exercised your dog or done any training with your dog, or you haven't done any socialization for your dog and just provided care, you don't hope. I hope I'm not. I hope I'm not uh, making you feel bad. You don't deserve to share affection with your dog. Yes, I said it. You have to provide affection for your dog only if you have provided everything that you need to provide for your dog. Let me show you something. This is amazing. This is very eye opening, not only for me, but could be for you too. So, a few days ago, I asked um, in my community page, I asked dog owners, what is the one thing that you do with your dog every day, no matter what? I offered exercise and play, training, love and hugs, all of the above, other. Look at the percentage of training, 1%. And this was zero until a few days ago. So 1% has said training. Everybody else, 35% to 46% were saying all of the above, love and hugs. Exercise and play is 15%. This is sad. This is very sad for dogs. Dogs are getting more love and hugs, a little bit of exercise. They are not getting any training. This is sad, people. This is reality. I hope you're getting something out of this. It's too sad to see that dogs are not getting training at all. And you could be one of those who is also voted in this category. Dogs are not getting trained, and it's very sad. Training should be part of your daily activity with your dog. Training, it should be something that you do because you love to do. And the reason you don't do training with your dog, because you see it as a chore. Either you see it as a chore, or you see it as, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with my dog as a training, as when it comes to training, or I don't have the time to train my dog. I need you to change that perspective. This is why I have this channel. This is why I want to make sure that training is something that becomes part of your daily activity with your dog. Becomes just like you drink water every day, you do training with your dog. I do training with my dog every day. I may be just teaching ABCD to my dog, or I may be teaching, uh, uh, high school level to my dog. I'm doing something with my dog. I'm doing some form of training with my dogs. And you should too. And I think the reason you don't do it is because either you don't know what you're supposed to do, or you come up with excuses, I don't have the time to do it, or you say simply, I don't think my dog needs training. My dog needs more affection and care than training. That's not the way dogs work. That's not the way you're going to get the best of your dog. If you want to get the best of your dog, you have to exercise it properly. You have to do some training with your dog. Now you're saying, I don't have the time to train my dog. If you don't have the time to train your dog, how come you have the time to drink wine every day, or drink coffee, or drink water every day? You can make time to drink those, to do those stuff. You can make time to train your dog as well. If it's important to you, you will make time. If it's important to you, you will make it happen. Now I'm with you. I'm not blaming you. You're saying, Saro, training is hard. You gotta have clicker, you gotta have this, you gotta have that, you gotta have time and this and that to train your dog, right? I say no. Training is the reason I do what I do, and the reason I train my dog using play and praise, because I don't want it to feel like training. I don't want it to feel like chore. I don't want it to feel like I'm doing something that I'm not happy to do. Training is very simple if you know what you're doing, right? And let me show you a sample of what I do as a training with my dog. Okay? A sample of what I mean when it comes to training your dog. So here are 3 things that I always do with my dogs, and I do these every day. Remember, I have 2 dogs, and I'm going to use one of the dogs as an example. So the first thing that I do with my dog every day is exercise. Provide some form of exercise for my dog, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's playing in the yard, whether it's I allow my dog to play with other dogs, or she plays on her own. So the first thing that I do is provide some form of physical exercise for my dog. So that's a physical stimulation for my dog. I do that every day, and you should be thinking of providing some form of physical activity for your dog every day, something that brings the heart rate up and provides some form of physical activity for your dog. The next thing that I provide for my dog is training. Training is not just for getting my dog to be trained or something, but this is another form of stimulation, which is mental stimulation. I try to provide some form of mental stimulation for my dog, and I found that training is the best form of mental stimulation for my dog. And I use play and praise reward system dog training. So especially this type of training is very stimulating, very beneficial, and very healthy to provide mental stimulation for my dog. Now, studies have shown that you shouldn't be overtraining your dog. That study was done based on training dogs using treats, but because I'm using play and praise as a reward system to train my dog, I'm not worried about that. It's much healthier. We're not using treats, we're not using food, so we're using different method of dog training, which is using play and praise reward system. So it's beneficial. I do this every day. I train my dog because I'm playing with my dog, I'm praising my dog, and meanwhile I'm training my dog. She gets the benefits of being stimulated mentally. I get the benefits of having a well trained dog and well maintained because I'm training her every day, and she's healthier and happier. And she always wants to be trained. So that gives me a signal she's enjoying this activity. So that's another thing that I do every day with my dog. So do you see where I'm going? That's about training. We can watch the rest of the video as well, so you can get the idea. So that was exercise and training. I do that every day with my dog. And training is something that it's fun. I love to play with my dog. My dog loves to play with me. I train she trains, works with me, and I get all the good results and good benefits. And it happens, naturally, because I'm training and playing and praising my dog naturally, right? We're going to continue on figuring out the rest of it, but I want to go to the comments area, chat area, and and see what you guys are saying. uh, we have Metalingus Balor. Hi, Saro. Can I train my 2.5 months old Beagle leash walking as early as now? Whenever I try to put him on a leash, he starts going to the other way and starts going wild. uh, so 2.5 months old puppy is still in that process of understanding what the hell is going on. Who are you? Where am I? What's going on? Why am I wearing a collar? Why are you putting leash on? And all these things are happening in this little brain of your beagle, right? So it's very stressed and very confused at this stage. The reason it's not accepting the leash is because it's not relaxed. It's not calm. It's confused. Now, how can you make your dog to not to be confused? You gotta focus on this. You gotta start providing your puppies daily 5 essential needs. Exercise. So a 2.5 months old beagle, as well as 2.5 years old or 12.5-year-old beagle, needs exercise, but proper amount of exercise, proper way of exercising. You have to provide a good form of exercise. So I think one of the problems that you have, and this comes from my experience from working with dog owners for 25 years now, you are thinking of walking your beagle as an exercise, right? But you have to look at exercising from different point of view. Play with your puppy, use toys, use games, things like that. All these things, by the way, if you want to learn, I have we go through the program in my signature program, Perfect Dog Plan. We start from puppy training and we go all the way to adult training. There's everything there that you can learn exactly how to do things with your puppy, just to so you know. But I provide games and play sessions first to exercise my dog, my puppy. I would do that. I would do some training meanwhile. So why am I doing training? Because I want to build a communication system between me and my puppy. So I've exercised it, I've provided physical stimulation, which has reduced the energy level. I've done some training, so now we have a communication system going on between me and my puppy. And now it's time for me to socialize the leash. The leash now becomes an opportunity for me to socialize it with. Socialization is not just to socialize your beagle with humans, cats, and dogs, and this and that. A leash is an opportunity to socialize your puppy. So, do you see where I'm going? So, you went straight to number three with the leash. You skipped number one and two, so exercise and training. You skipped those two steps. You went all of a sudden to socialization with the leash, and your puppy is like, "What the hell? I have no idea. What are you doing?" So you gotta bring the exercise and bring the energy level low. Train, do some training to build that communication system between your and puppy. Then you say, "Here's the leash," and your puppy is gonna say, "Oh, now I know what you mean. Oh, this is leash. Oh, this is what we do with it. Oh, I get it now." Right? So then you continue with care and affection. Is it making sense? Metalingus Baller. Is that making sense? You have to go step by step. Whether you have a 2.5 months old or 2 years old or 12 years old, if a dog is giving you a behavior like that because you're skipping steps and you're going too fast, you got to go slowly. You got to be going in the speed that your puppy needs to be learning. Remember, in the beginning of this live session, I was saying you can't force a dog. You can't force your puppy to like the leash. You have to allow it to take it in. And the way you allow it to take it in is you provide what your puppy needs, you provide its daily five essential needs. And this is something that I wrote a book about it, actually. Right? I have a book, and I have published this book, A Dog's Five Essential Needs. I wrote a book on it about it because if you provide your dog's daily five essential needs, your dog will give you anything you want. It'll give you anything it's got, right? But you gotta give and provide your dog's daily five essential needs. If you don't, or you just give affection and care, maybe your dog is going to say, "Hey, I'm not going to give you my 100%." Because again, you're skipping steps. Your dog is saying, "Huh, you didn't provide me enough exercise or training or socialization and care. I'm not going to allow you to share affection with me." And even if you share affection with me, it doesn't value it a lot. It doesn't value it much. But if you provide your dog's daily five essential needs, your dog is going to say, "Whoa, you actually care about me. You actually know me. You actually know exactly what I need. You're providing my needs. Thank you, mom. Thank you, dad. I'll give you whatever you want. You want me to sit? I'll sit. You want me to stay? I'll stay. You want me to uh, not, if you want me to go and say hi to that dog, I'll go and say hi to that dog. You want me to go and kill that dog, or go and kill that dog. They will do anything that you want, as long as you provide your dog's daily five essential needs. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any follow-up question. Again, Metalingos Balor, if you need additional help, please join my signature program at Saro Dog Training. The link is at the website. You can set up a session and see if you want to work with me, and I can help you. Of course, I can help you if you want to invest time, energy, and money. Definitely. John Cipolla says, "Hey guys, sorry I missed. I was walking the dog. Don't feel sorry. That's one of the things that we have to do with our dogs. We have to walk our dogs. Exercise is very important. It's part of the formula. Nancy says, yes, Saro trains dog owners. I'm the problem, not my dogs. I'm badly in need of training, and Saro is doing a great job of training me. Thank you for feedback, Nancy. Nancy is one of my students. We have just started working with her, and I think, Nancy, you are. I can see that the light bulbs are coming on, and you're understanding what exactly you're supposed to do. Very good student. Yes. John says, I'm giving her over and half an of socialization and mental exercise games each day. That's great. John also is one of my students. Walk her for an hour each day and socialize at the same time, and then fetch for an hour after dinner. Oh, that's great. One tip I will share, John. I wouldn't suggest doing a fetch game after dinner. You don't want to do after feeding. You want to do it before feeding. Remember the formula. Let me see. Remember the formula is exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection. So exercise is first and then feeding. So you do the exercise before feeding. There's a reason why we do this in this order. Because if you're feeding your dog and then exercising it, it will cause a lot of health issues to develop in their system. We don't want to exercise after eating, just so you know. I practice sit and stay with her all the time, especially before going out. Very good, very good. The cat says, a well-trained beagle. You've got some skills, buddy. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yes, that comes from following the formula. I teach what I preach. I practice what I preach. Sorry. I provide my dogs daily 5 essential needs. Puppy just came back from a half an hour walk, zoomies, and now she's pooped out. Yes, zoomies, by the way, for those who don't know, zoomies is a celebration of happiness and joy of your dog saying, I am happy, I am satisfied, I am glad that I'm alive, and I'm going to be celebrating it. So they do the zoomies. Watch movies 1 to 3. I don't know what you mean with bath. Cat says, the cat says, what breed was the easiest, hardest breed you've trained? Good question. No breed is hard for me to train because I don't tap into, I consider all breeds. And by the way, I'm going to actually make a video and I'm going to mention this in that video. So you're hearing it first. I consider all breeds working dogs. And when you approach all breeds with working dog mentality, you train them the same way and they will learn the same way. So they all learn the same way. It's not that one learns faster than another or anything like that. It's just that each individual, by the way, my dogs in the background, they're playing and having fun, good time. That's a beagle barking with when it's having fun. Harvey. Here comes Annie. Here comes joy and fun. So I personally don't have to deal with breed. That's why I can train any dog because I don't look at it as breed, as I look at it as individual. So for example, in beagles, there are beagles who are very determined to hunt, and there are beagles who are not very determined to hunt. So I have to look at that and see, okay, this one needs more of that, and that one needs less of that. The only thing that I would say about breeds is that if you look at, especially in YouTube channel, and most those dog trainers who tend to say, oh, you know, you have to use this method of dog training, which is balanced dog training, dominance, and all that. They have these breed of dogs like Malamute and German Shepherds and Border Collies and all that, which basically they are exception to the breed categories. Malinois, sorry, Malinois, Malinois, German Shepherds, Border Collies, and all that. They they are exception to the rule because they are really physically and mentally capable of doing on imaginable things, right? So they've used those types of dogs, and which are very easy to train. You can do anything with those dogs, but I don't see them training a beagle or a basset hound or a golden retriever or a lab. Uh, these dogs, border collies and all that, they are easy to train. Try training a beagle. That's the challenge that most dog trainers and most dog owners would have. I don't have that problem because, again, I consider all breeds working breeds. And when you address working breeds using play and praise reward system and train them that using play and praise, you get the same results with every breed. Metalinguist Balor says, thank you for answering my question, sir. You are very welcome. I hope I made sense. Cynthia says, thank you, Saro. That was something I was thinking about. Should I exercise first or feed first? Yes. Exercise first and then feed later. Olivia Summers says, do you have any favorite safe dog toys? Dog toys, yes. Let me share the screen with you so you know what I'm talking about. So if you go to my website and if you go to the shop, if you go to our shop, I have a lot of products. So this is a safe toy that I recommend for dogs. Kong is another safe toy. Basically, I have many toys in my shop that you can go and browse around and figure out which one works the best for you and your dog. I have all the safe toys. First of all, these toys are safe because they're not made in China. Unfortunately, I don't want to make this political, but products that are made in China, they tend to have chemicals that are not healthy for dogs. So these products are safe from that point of view. And also, these products are the products that I suggest to use with your dog because I've used them and I recommend them as well. Now, the other thing that I also suggest is not providing soft toys for your dogs. Soft toys are not ideal for dogs because they tend to destroy them, and that enforces the dog to learn how to kill because they don't know the difference between the toy and the real squirrel or real rabbit or whatever it is. So they're practicing killing on the dog, on the toy. And when it comes to the real scenario, when they see a squirrel running around, they don't know the difference between the toy and the squirrel. And they say, you know what, I can catch that squirrel and do the same thing that I did at home. I can tear it apart, I can kill it, and I've practiced it a lot. And unfortunately, I don't recommend that. So I recommend using toys that don't look like the animals that are out there. I use toys that are safe in a way that they are just mainly for chewing. Now, if I'm using a toy for training, for example, I'll use this for training, I'll use this for training, I'll use this ball for training, or these balls for training. These balls and these kind of toys, they only come out when I'm training my dog. Once we are done with the training, I remove these toys. My dog doesn't get it until the next session that we're doing any training session. So that's the idea of behind toys. Cynthia Ingram says that is so true. So very good. Thank you. All right. So one more time before we leave and before we end the show, I just wanted to remind you that I have a program that is very unique, is very special, not only for me, but special for you as well, because it's a program that is designed to help you achieve the perfect dog. Now, you're saying, Sarah, how can you be so confident that this is the perfect plan for the perfect dog? Well, one is because I just explained in this video that the way I approach dog training is very different and very unique. I don't approach it from the way that many dog trainers approach because, to be honest with you, those systems don't work, right? They we have failed at it. 9 out of 10 of dogs that you come across, I bet you're either avoiding them or those dogs are trying to kill your dog and reactive. And that's because everybody's attending the same classes, same style of classes, same method of dog training, and that's what we get. But if we want a good form of learning and training our dogs, we have to do it differently. And I have created this program that not only allows you to learn in a way that it's more effective for you and your dog, but it doesn't last only few weeks or few months or few years. It lasts a lifetime of your dog. As long as you need my help, the program is there. And all you have to do is to make that commitment that you want to work with your dog and you want to work with me. And if you want to learn how to train your dog using a method that uses no force, no treats, no way of hurting your relationship or your feelings or your dog's physical, emotional needs, then this is the program. We have weekly coaching calls. Every week, we gather around, just like my students, like Nancy. We come around, gather around, and we answer questions, everything that we have to talk about, and every problem that we have, we solve it for that time. And we keep doing it. Dog training is not a week, few weeks program. Dog training is a lifetime journey, and you need a lifetime coach and program that will help you to get there. And we have weekly coaching calls. We have a massive library of videos that you can go and watch and learn and practice it on your own. And you're learning a dog training without the use of treats. Now, I have a video on the website as well, which gives you a behind the scene, or basically allows you to take a tour inside the Perfect Dog Plan program to understand exactly more in details how it works. And it's on the website. You can go ahead and watch that and learn more about the program, how I can help you, how I can support you and give you the support that you need. And all you have to do, again, if you want to work with me, what I do, I ask people to book a free call so we can talk to each other a little bit more in depth, personally, one-on-one, to figure out if this is the right program for you and if I'm the right person for you. And just book a free call. We'll talk about it. If it's something that you are interested and you want to work with me, I'll invite you to the program. If it's something that I see that it's not going to help you, maybe I'm not the right person or coach for you, I'll let you know. I'll say to you, no, this is not going to, I'm not going to be able to help you. And that's it. Nothing, you don't have to commit to anything. Sorry. Thank you. Uh, Cynthia says, Saro, you talked about dogs and when they should be on the leash. My dog gets so excited when I get this his leash. He does sit and relaxes before we go out, but he still gets so excited. What am I not doing? This is a good question too. Let me see if I can bring the graph that I need you to see, which is going to make more sense. Okay, so one of the things that dog owners do is they may or may not train their dogs at home. They get the good results at home, but then when they go out, they don't get the results that they want. Why is that happening? Let me just quickly explain what is happening in the program. In my perfect dog plan program, you learn this. We go in more depth in the details, and we work on this on each section for a while until we get to the results that we want with you personally, one-on-one. So you have to train your dog. I call it 5 levels of dog training. This way you're able to help dogs learn better with following this 5-step process. So you have to train your dog at home. You have to make sure that your dog knows exactly what you're saying and what you mean and what you're teaching 100%. What I mean by that is, for example, if you ask your dog to sit and stay, your dog has to sit and stay 100%. If it doesn't sit and stay 100%, you're not ready to be going outside, right? Because we don't have 100% inside of the house. If you don't have 100% inside of the house, how are you supposed to have any percent results outside of the house? So you have to have 100% results inside of the house before you even move outside of the house. But you don't just all of a sudden go to the park, on the street. You don't go there. You go to the backyard and practice the same things that you've learned teaching to your dog at home in the backyard. And if you don't have a backyard, you live in a building, you go and practice it on the hallways. Once you have 100% over here, then you go and practice it in the front yard. And if you don't have a front yard, you live in a building, you go practicing in the parking lot. Once you have 100% over here, then you go and practice it on the streets. And once you have 100% results on the streets, then you go on the park in the park. Now, most people, what they do, they go from home to park right away, and they skip level 2, 3, 4. Therefore, you don't get the results that you want. And if you're, let's say, on level 4 and your dog is not giving you 100%, it's taking a long time, and you're having a hard time to get the 100% results, you go back to level 3, practice a lot more there. Always go back if you are not succeeding in the next level. Going back doesn't mean that you're failing at training your dog. All it says to you is that your dog was not ready to go to the next level. So if you're having a hard time going from home to outside of the house, and your dog is getting excited and it's it's not listening to you, it's not relaxing, that's because it's not ready to go to outside. You have to still practice everything that you need to practice inside of the house. Now, what do you need to practice inside of the house? A lot of things that you have to practice. You have to practice leash walking. You have to practice all the obedience commands. You have to practice over and over for a few months until you can say, you know what, my dog is kind of on 100% level. Now I can give it a try level 2. Does that make sense? So that's how you solve that problem. So again, if you are wanting to work with me and if you want to be part of my uh, community in a deeper level and work one-on-one with me in a more intimate level, more effective way, dog training, going to dog training classes, hiring a dog trainer is not the solution. I talked about it in my last video, which was a podcast actually. And if you want to know exactly what I mean by that, go ahead and watch that and or listen to that podcast. Learn exactly what I mean. This is the future. This is the future of dog training. This is the future of learning. 60 to 90% of dog training is dog owner training. You have to be trained first before you can train your dog. And if you want to get trained, dog training class or hiring a dog trainer, kind of private dog trainer for a few weeks is not the answer. That's not how you learn. That's not how you get trained. And if you are still doing traditional method of dog training, which is hiring a dog trainer or going to a puppy class or going to obedience classes for 6 weeks, that's a waste of money and it's a band-aid solution. The future is this. The future of dog training is you learning everything that you need to learn at home using a method of dog training that you are comfortable with and makes sense to you, and you want to use that method and learn everything that you need to do and to be, and then transfer those information to your dog, and then practice everything at home, and then move to the backyard, front yard, street, and the park. That's how you learn. That's how you get the perfect dog. And I've got the plan. I've got the perfect dog plan. I've got hundreds of successful students, and I have few students that I'm still working on them at the moment. All it's missing is you. If you want to work with me, let me know. Just visit Saro Dog Training and we'll get started. Thank you very much for being here. I hope I turned on some light bulbs in your head today. I hope you enjoyed this live session. I had fun. Exactly, Cynthia. Level by level, one step at a time. Don't rush. Don't force your dog to learn something. Allow it to learn on its own. And if it's not learning on its own, it's because you're not doing the right way of allowing it to learn. You're forcing your dog. Saro Dog Training, using play and praise reward system, we don't force the dog. We allow the dog to learn automatically. Simple. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this live show. I had fun, and I hope you had too. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, give it a like, share this video, please, with your friends, family members, other dog lovers. Share it everywhere. Let everybody know that there is this method of training. There is a unique, futuristic, top of the line dog training that exists that you can actually get results. And let everybody know. Let them know that you are not the only one who has the solution. Nancy said had fun too. Cynthia says light bulb went off today. Very good. That was the goal. Thank you very much. Have fun. And I'll see you next time. And until next time, have fun with your dog. Take care, everybody. See you later.